wasting your time. You claim to be a fan, but there ain't no proof of it. Turning your time. You say you're black and gold, but your tastes are full of it. Turning your time. You can scream and shout.
All right. We've got a game recap edition of what Yinz Talking Bout. These are the kind of days that I hate being a Steelers fan because there are no Steelers fans to be found. Um, just a few days after beating Baltimore in a signature win, and everyone's ready to just turn their backs on Tomlin and on this team. It's like ridiculous. We knew this was a Thursday night game in the division on the road, which is super hard to win. Add all the weather. Yeah, some weird things were going to happen in this game. Maybe it wasn't going to be according to script. Even still, Steelers had the lead in the fourth. And you could argue a chance for a game-winning drive. I don't, it wasn't a ton of time to get a touchdown there together. But hey, still had the ball in the Steelers' hands with a chance to win. But all the takes are just so garbage. I wonder, like, are you even a Steelers fan? If you're so fickle and ready to just play the blame game, so much blame. That's what I really hate, the blame game. Sometimes a Steelers loss isn't the fault of anyone. The Browns were out there playing ball. Their defense balled, their pass rush balled, and when Winston needed to, he balled too. Just hate the blame game. I hate the Tomlin blame game. I won't even get to a bunch of individual takes. I've got the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette recap of Tomlin's mistakes. This is what really gets me. This guy's done nothing but win for 18 years. And then, one loss, the third loss of the season, only the third loss. And people were acting like this is the worst performance ever, the worst team, the worst season. People are giving up on the season, giving up on the team. Give me a break. Turn in your towel if you're so upset about it. Yeah, I'm bummed too they didn't win. Turn in your towel if you think this was so bad. Go root for the Bills or the Giants. You want to be a Giants fan? They need some bandwagons now. Just the blaming on Tomlin. This guy's won for 18 seasons, motivates every player. We see all the behind the scenes, and we'll see more during Hard Knocks about how he motivates every confession from every player, past and present. Here's the Post-Gazette's rundown of Tomlin's mistakes in that game. Because all these NFL quality coaches sitting on their couches, Madden is not real life. Fantasy football is not real life. Here were the Post-Gazette's rundown of Tomlin's mistakes. And I'm not just trying to defend him as for Homer's sake, but I'll explain some context in all of these. First off, Tomlin gets caught in between at the end of the first half, called a timeout after a second down pass, but then allowed 40 seconds to run off the clock before Cleveland called timeout and kicked a field goal. Tomlin has said again and again, he likes saving timeouts for offense. And maybe that's not your strategy on Madden. Maybe you're willing to throw the ball away or spike the ball, but Tomlin has said it, and I'm not going to fault him. He's got a philosophy and he sticks to it. Time management and clock management is, I never hear, the top 10 clock management coaches in the Hall of Fame. That's not a stat anyone talks about. No one ever praises, oh, this coach is the best at clock management. Maybe because it's not really a factor. The fade route to Cordell Patterson on the 2-point conversion. Uh, yeah, maybe it wasn't the best drawn up play, but number one, it didn't matter. The 2-point conversion didn't matter. Even if the Steelers got it and were able to kick a field goal on that last drive, they didn't get into field goal range. And the Browns were giving up the easy yards. They were protecting the deep ball. They were protecting the end zone. So who cares about the 2-point conversion? The other thing is, hey, go back and look. Maybe Patterson got a little tug on that play too. A lot of flags that weren't thrown. And we could blame refs. I'm not trying to do that. Justin Fields randomly throwing deep to Pickens with the Steelers trying to salt away the game. Steelers had a chance to ice it there. Get first downs and run off the clock. Browns never get the ball, never get that last touchdown. You could argue, hey, why is Fields in there? It should be Russ throwing moon balls to Pickens one-on-one. But hey, I think that part of the strategy was you got Fields in there, and the defense is going to play the run. That was the first time that Fields had a pass attempt in this new Fields Russ era, dual era. So I think the Browns defense was playing the run. So why not put up a shot there on one-on-one coverage, which is all you can ask for in a passing situation, maybe. Hindsight's 2020. They connect on that pass. It's like gutsy call, you know, gutsy performance. If Steelers can get first downs, then they ice that game. We're not talking about it. Can you put that on Tomlin? Maybe in hindsight, maybe. Can you put that on the offense for not being able to run out the clock on their own? I will too. It's coaches and players. Next criticism. Tomlin not instructing his players to allow Nick Chubb to score with 1:43 to go would have afforded the Steelers 50 more seconds. I don't know. Go back and watch that first run. They weren't really tackling him. They were going for the ball. They were trying to knock out the ball. I think they were trying to let him in on that first down play. Go back and look at it. That wasn't a Landon Roberts, stunting over the goal line to knock out the ball against the Cowboys. They were letting Chubb get in there. They were tackling the ball. They were going for the ball. Next criticism. Burning a timeout after a confusing sequence where Tomlin thought it was an intentional grounding and deciding to hastily accept the penalty. Another decision that can be questioned. In hindsight, the way the Browns were playing on fourth down, they were going for it and getting it. So you had 4th and 2. Could you guarantee that they were going to kick that? Tomlin said, take the penalty. 3rd and 7. Hey, get a sack there. Maybe they're out of field goal range. If you're going to blame Tomlin, blame the pass rush. Tomlin said he wanted the longer distance. It makes sense. Make it a harder field goal to kick. Makes sense. Get pressure on Winston on that 3rd and 7. We're not talking about any of this. Just the Tomlin criticism. You don't know better out there from your couch, from your computer screen. Let's look at a couple crap takes because Tomlin wasn't the only one getting the blame. How about this? At sadly a Wizard fan, Micaiah. I think it's time we had a conversation about TJ Watt, Hall of Fame player who's been a non-factor this entire season. Give me a break. TJ Watt might be the greatest statistical Steelers defender ever, or he's on pace to. Couldn't come up with the game-winning play this week. He's done it a bunch. How about at Pick Six Pack FB? Pick Six Pack. Steelers are the worst 8-3 team of all time. Give me a break. I'll take 8-3. If you just said at the beginning of the season 8-3 after 11, 100 out of 100 would have taken that. So get out of here. 8-3, still playoff bound, still own our own destiny to win the division. At Steelers cap. Worst Tomlin game ever. Every decision has been wrong. In hindsight, but you know, every decision you make is wrong. Like tweeting. Maybe just that decision in itself shows how fickle you are. You're not going to stick with the guy who got you there for the last 18 seasons. At Steelers bastard. I have significantly less confidence in this team moving forward the rest of the season. Then turn in your towel. Don't watch the games. Gosh, some of these people tweet like you're being forced to watch the games. Watch the highlights on SportsCenter if you can't stomach it. If you're going to bail on this team when the going gets tough. They came back from 12 down. They had the lead in the fourth. What more can you ask for? I'll take that situation 100 out of 100 times. Got the lead in the fourth. Just need to run out the clock with 4 minutes left or stop the Browns on 3rd and 7. I'll take those odds. Yeah, it's not going to happen 100% of the time, but I'll take those odds every time. Give me a break. So fickle. Plenty of season left. And why are we, in trap game? I don't believe in trap games. It's any given Sunday in the NFL or Thursday. Any team can beat anybody. We saw the Browns beat the Ravens. This was one of the Browns Super Bowls, Trap game. Don't believe it. Play down to your opponent. Don't believe that either. Over the last 4 years, Tomlin's 23-8-1 against teams that finish the season with a losing record. And we just told you on Wednesday that Tomlin this year is better than any other coach against teams with winning records. They're not going to win them all. They're not going to win all the ones they're favored. Deal with it. Thank God that we've got the rest of the weekend off. I can stay off Twitter for a few days. Worry about next week's game. Think I'm not disappointed? But I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. People were throwing the punter under the bus. Yeah, bad punt at the worst time. But he's been killer for the rest of the season. I saw people blaming Joey Porter Jr. because there was a 5-yard hold there in the fourth. I saw people blaming KZ early in the game because of that penalty he took pushing the gunner out of bounds. Meanwhile, he got pulled down. Go back and look at it again. He got pulled down. Everyone's so quick to react. Maybe take a little bit to think. Think a minute. Maybe get some more information before you just spew out your opinions. You know, an opinion is Palomalu is my favorite Steeler or Debo is my favorite Steeler. That's an opinion. But like fire Tomlin, worst 8-3 Steelers team ever. Come on. Those aren't opinions. It's uninformed. Deal with your emotions. All right, that's enough for this post game craptacular. We'll be back on Thursday, hopefully with some better tech. Get the tech situation sorted out. Join our Slack. You want to have some stable Steelers conversation? Join the What Yinz Talkin Bout Slack. Hit me up for the link if you can't get in. We'll be back on Thursday. Keep listening to your coach, who some of you don't deserve.
Be their best selves. That's going to be required.
Stay in school.